He has been a cadet with Thakur Shipping from 72 to 75, Master Certificate of Competency in July 1980. He has been in command since December 1980 and has sailed as master on cargo ships, bulk carriers, product tankers, crude oil tankers, FSOs, and he has worked in the following companies: Thakur Shipping, SR Shipping, V Ships, Tanker Pacific, V Ships Singapore, and he has done the special projects in offshore field, oil exploration on FSOs and FPSOs, handled commissioning of FSOs, cargo operations including storing and offtake of crude oil, commissioning of metering skids, tandem mooring and unmooring operations, assisted company in FSO conversion, taking active part on operational areas of the FSO, writing operational manual of FSO for day-to-day operations, carried out company-based on-board training for day-to-day operation of the FSO, including responsibilities of helicopter landing officer.
It's known as IMO navigation, but there are a lot of other people are involved into it, and most importantly, ILS has done a lot of things, enhancing electronic navigation system, which will coordinate, harmonize the information ashore as well as on ship. That's the main concept. It means tomorrow the vessels are posting and they are into confined water, where the navigation is at par. What additionally supports can be given to the seafarers so that safety of navigation can be at par? That's the whole concept of it. When we're talking about bringing increased safety, a lot of things are talked about it. Safety which can also help the organizations, sure. Safety which can also help the seafarers on board. Safety which can also help the flag state, etc. So all of these parties are going to gain something with it. Safer the navigation, that is what we are looking forward is environmental protection and less accidents and incidents. Organization of data on ships and between ships and ashore is the main concern here. How will you do that? How will that transfer the information from ship to ashore? That is what is the implementation is talking about IMO. How that transfer of data from ship will reach ashore, and how that the person sitting in a VTIS, or you can say that maritime person who is looking after the safety of navigation and coastal navigation is going to help the seafarers having received that data. Once again we are talking about the data communication, the information which is related between the ships and also between ships and shore is the most important part here again, and that is what is the basic concept of the navigation. The IMO entrusted Norway and the Norwegian Coastal Administration to coordinate the work of developing a proposal for an e-navigation strategy implementation plan. They are already trying it out. They already have a strategy in place today. Their waterways are already have tried out e-navigation. It's known on the name of the Mona Lisa project. Norwegian Coastal Administration had an organization role in gathering input from the national maritime administrations to proposals and decisions related to the process of establishing an e-navigation strategy implementation plan. As I spoke already, they are ahead. They have already tried out into their waterways. So the responsibility also was given to them by the IMO. They are chairing the IMO communication part, and they are trying to make it work, how to implement this plan. So what we are calling about a strategy implementation plan, in a short word SIP, has been progressed by the Norwegians. The concept of the e-navigation was proposed by the IMO members in 2006. But prior to that, something else happened. In 1992, this e-navigation was already thought, and this was thought by your Norwegians, who had already thought how to make the navigation safe with limited people on board. That was their concern, so that incidents and accidents don't take place. That kept on discussed and kept on going until 2006, when IMO came up with the EGDIS guidelines and say how to have use the EGDIS on board, because that is what definitely needed in case you have to wanted to use the navigation. During that time, the concept was also accepted for e-navigation. Further, they expected that these tasks, when completed of e-navigation, then by 2015 to 19 is a forecast period, but I can't really say what is going to happen, whether it will come completely by that time or not. But certainly some areas in the world, some countries in the world will definitely have this concept. And as it progresses, the user will definitely like to have it. To meet the navigational concept, that is what in 2006 was first decided. Annex 7, what we talk about it, that is a draft copy of the IMO guidelines, which first came out and they say how to implement the SIP plan. That was the first time the Annex 7 talks about it. Then Annex 20 came, which described what is the scope of this and who should do what. That came in Annex 20 of the IMO. And one of those 5 prioritized navigation solutions. First thing is talking about improved, harmonized and user-friendly bridge design. Now all of us, those who have been using EGDIS and they are aware of it, the EGDIS today, though it's used for the safety of navigation, but it is not harmonized. The first problem here is that there are different types of EGDIS being used for navigations, and this is what needs to be sorted out. How they all could be operated in one platform. To do that, something has to be done, and that is what called S mode of operation, what is I've written. All EGDIS has to be an S mode of operation. S stands for the standard mode of operation. I will show you some of the slides. There has been an improvement into the technology, but somewhere there is a lacking. What is lacking is the attitude of the people on board. You can part as much as the training you want. How much is the navigation? Integration and presentation available information in graphical displays received by communication equipment. What is this communication equipment I will be talking about it today? It means something which can make it happen. Transfer the data. VSAT is one of the things which can do that. It cannot only do the voice but as well as data. So the communication equipment will receive this data, which will integrate with the EGDIS and help you out with the transfer of data into the show. Improved communication with VTS, and it is not limited to the operational level. It is also limited to the, it's also extended further to the management level. There is a VTS, there is a VTM. One is at management level, one is at operation level. So both levels, it has to be integrated. If you look at it, there are various bodies which are part of this project. Starting from left hand side, there is IHO, IMO heading this. Then there is a nautical institutes involved into it. Danish Maritime Authority has a major part to play into it. And plus access to seas, that is into North Sea, is also got a major part into it. I will better explain to you that once I have finished my presentation, then I will show you a very short clip movie on that. Okay, what is this extent to? What are they doing in North? This slide, which is what I wanted to explain there. Training is there, but how far the training is effective? If attitude is not correct, this is what is going to happen. Bad sea. grounding, then environmental damage, loss of lives, it will continue. The attitude is not right. Keep clear of whom. It is simple. Knowledge and regulations state. Give up a vessel, has to keep clear of the crossing vessel. But what is the concept on the bridge? If he doesn't follow that rule correctly, this is where he is going to land up. He is not constrained with sea room, he is not constrained with anything. He has ARPA in use, which is telling him what is the CPA, TCPA. Every information is available to him. Then why are we landing in this situation? Grounding. Take this on board. This is vessel which ran aground in Baturan, Singapore Strait, broad daylight. Why? The answer is same. In order to avoid these kind of things, in order to avoid these collisions, grounding, safety of navigation, something additionally needed to be done, and that is nothing but e-navigation. Despite advanced bridge resource management training, the majority of the warshipping officers observed making critical decisions for navigation in isolation and with lack of situational awareness. The second word is very, very important. Lack of situational awareness. That is why the accidents are caused. That is where the collision took place. Situationally not aware what's happening around the vessel and on the bridge. Training is there. Is there? No? Where is resource management training? I think every company is doing that to the best of their possibilities. Seafarers are being trained. They've been given every opportunity to understand this part. What is lacking is attitude, and that is what is bringing this situational awareness lacking into. Open sea condition. Why wait? Well, he thinks it's not necessary to immediate acceleration of force or reduction of speed or anything which can save that situation. Complacency, overconfidence could be one of the cause for that. Training has been given. What happened to this training? So this is what we are talking about. Critical decisions which are taken are not correct. So why not have the e-navigation to improve the situation? E-navigation could assist in improving this aspect, both for well-designed onboard system and closer cooperation with the vessel's traffic management. Now you need somebody to observe what you are doing. Air traffic controller, everybody knows when you are coming into any of the airports, there is air traffic controller. He guides. He tells you, okay, what to do, when you will be landing, etc., etc. Now you need marine traffic controller to watch you. With the data transferred from ship to the VTIS, there is what your marine traffic control part will start. He is going to observe you. Is your action taken in the airport, right? Which is very nicely shown in a movie which I am going to show you towards the end of this presentation, Mona Lisa project. How this thing has been carried out. Vision of e-navigation. Is embedded in the following general expectations, which are, first thing is that saying onboard navigator, how will he is going to benefit with it? Navigating systems that benefit from the integration of the own ship sensors. Once again I am talking about same S mode of operation, which is going to be integrated with every sensors fitted on your bridge, AIS, ARPA, and anything else which is needed for the safety of navigation, which will be integrated with your system, and that is IGDIS, electronic. We are talking about electronic system here now. So that is seamless information needed in order to coordinate. On-board ships, between the ships and shore, that is what I said, interaction is very essential. Communication, positive communication is very essential. Parties with many more related benefits. Shore is also going to be benefit with these things. If the ships are operating safely, they are also achieving goals with that. Less expenses, less claims. So the communication requires all this. Although e-navigation may be able to improve the situational described above, there is a further need to recognize the role of the practice of a good seamanship, the provision for suitable training, and the use of correct procedures. So it's a continuous training will be continued. Without that, it's not going to be successful. Till such time, everybody's attitude is changed. On ship, the development of the e-navigation further linked to SOLAS chapter 5, also included in the e-navigation. SOLAS is also part of it, with the safety of navigation. Chapter 4 talks about the radio communication. Chapter 3, radio life-saving appliances and regulations. 6 is talking about search and rescue operation, etc. STCW convention and code pertaining to training. This is also linked to it. It is all part of SOLAS. SOLAS is also linked to e-navigation. And ITU publications. They are also part of e-navigation system. MDA and IBA system. What is MDA? Maritime Domain Awareness. I'm sure that people must have known about it, at least from the training center. Define an effective understanding of anything associated with the maritime domain that could impact the security, safety, economy, or the environmental safety. How this domain is linked to IBA system? Enhanced through an integrated bridge system, which interconnect functionalities that integrate e-navigation capabilities in a single command control communication. It's called as the C3. It commands, it controls, and it communicates. And it provides what? Centralized sensor inputs. First thing. Second thing, it says display capability of that equipment. And that equipment is nothing else but your electronic chart. Third thing, it talks about decision support capability. These three things are very important and related to your IBA system. How MDA integrated? This is what the future bridge layout. We talked in the beginning of this discussion. One of the things is design of the bridge has to be changed to suit the e-navigation requirement. That is this design. MDA integrated bridge. Further, as it speaks here, real-time integration is also needed. From where this real-time integration coming? Is coming from your electronic navigation charts, your EGDIS. So the EGDIS is the first stage, was launched for keeping in mind of e-navigation concept. If there was no EGDIS, we could not have made progress. When I started doing EGDIS course, the first question where a lot of senior masters asked me what was wrong in the paper chart, that I have to go through this 19-inch screen and do the navigation. Nothing was wrong, but there has to be improvement. Everywhere there is a technology improvement. Then why not in marine sector? We have come from bullock carts to Mercedes-Benz and let us say cars. Then why here not? There should be an improvement. Because it's giving you better facility to navigate, more accuracy, pre-warnings. Okay, you don't want to listen to those alarms, that's a different issue. But you've been warned. You've been warned. You are running into danger and it's time for you to take that action. And it's very much needed into navigation. So real-time chart data augment with the location precision obtained from the satellite positioning system, digital vector like ENCs and also integrated with other sensors that information enables, avoidance from the navigational hazard, shallow water areas, etc., avoidance from the weather hazards, wind, tides, conditions, etc., which can make your navigation unsafe, and hazardous monitoring from data information which is received from GPS, ARPA, AIS, VDR, SAR and VTX. All is linked to it. In November 1996, IMO adopted the Aegis performance standard, including use of official ENC. It was that stage we have agreed, IMO has agreed, okay, ENC could be the means for navigation, provided databases are updated and maintained using standard S57 specified mechanism. So all your ENCs have to be on S57 as it now. And this stage was taken long time back. 1996 the decision was made by the IMO that ENCs, electronic charts, would be necessary for this and used on like this. International standard for digital hydrographic data designed by the maritime data producers offers standardized way to structure such data in S57 format approved by the IHU. Who are these maritime data producers? Today, various peoples are available other than your British Admiralty who are producing the ENCs. They are reliable. They are getting the data from the IHU and compiling the data and giving you. They are approved ones. IHU S57 is a computerized operating system that formats, permits accurate and detailed digitally mapping of the navigation data. Digitally mapping. If it was not digitally mapped, no data transfer could go. So in order to have the data transfer facility, you have to have a digital mapping. You have to have an ENC. S57 product ENC can be used on vessels' electronic navigation system, increases safety and efficiency in navigation. And I think quite a lot of it has been already seen, irrespective of inaccurate operation of the ENC, which I don't think there's a problem of the equipment, but it's a problem of the people who are not understanding how to use it. We have to still go a long way with that. I keep reading a lot of incidents, accidents, keep discussing them in BTM class. The result of inaccurate way of operating the equipment. System is correct, people are not using it correct. S100 was a need again, because S57 could not support all of it what the IMO wanted to give seafarers, which came in force on 1st January 2010 already. It's already there, impact is there. Okay, this is how the S100 to be produced. But it's taking time. Taking time why? Because there are still certain countries are lacking behind to survey their own coastal waters. And until unless that completes, we cannot cross the stage at S57. The scope of the existing S57 hydrographic transfer data need to be extended further, whereby more detailed information could be available to you. No, it's wonders. Sometimes you look back and see you've been reading comics in your school days. Anybody thought that something will happen like that? This is happening. And if I tell you, even S100 ENC system comes in place, you would be seeing your EGDs in a 3D form. What more you want? The ships will look like in a ship, dot or dot. Isn't this going to be more wonderful thing? So that is what the scope of the 100 ENC. That's the most simplest way I can tell you, because if I start telling you technically, it's a huge thing which I can explain to you. Unlike S57, S100 is inherently more flexible, makes provision for the use of imaginary graded data and enhanced metadata and multiple encoding formats. This is the facility which we needed for transfer of data. Imaginary and graded data. S100 provides a data framework for the development of the next generation ENC product. It's already been decided. It's already been decided what next generation ENCs are going to be. It's only a matter of implementation. As well as other related digital products required by the hydrographic maritime GIS communications. Once the S100 comes in operation and installed on your rig disk with S mode of operation, the mariners need not have to look into the digital publications. All information will be available to them on a click of the mouse. You can integrate the chart, find every information what you need about the lighthouse, about the port, about anything which you are trying to look into the reference books today. Selling directions available on S. Ice areas available in S100. How it is? This is a block diagram. It tells you what are the things are going to be included in S100. Nautical publication 102 will be part of S100. Uncolds, inland ENC, IMO, graded data, high density bathymetry information. You would know exactly what is lying below the keel of the vessel in a three-dimensional way. This is 3D and temporal, sea ice. So this is what has been planned. Even one S100 comes, or a new generation like this ENC uses, this is what is the data will be available to seafarers. Well, operator's error. Once again we are back to the same. Errors of the operator. Training is there, but attitude is not there. Ensure safe navigation. E-navigation data must be complemented, but validated through traditional means as looking out of the window cannot be forgotten. Rule 5. Very important. You cannot give away. Look out of the window remains essential part of the navigation, though you are been supported with gadgetry equipment. This is still an essential part. Unfortunately, today's generations are not realizing this. Why? Because they are very gadgetry dependent. When they stand in front of the bridge, they look like this all the time, but they don't look ahead. So this is a reminder for them. My friend, no problem. you have a gadgetry support, alarms, everything, does not relieve you of the responsibility to look ahead and look outside the windows. Very essential part. Better maritime transport in the Baltic Sea, that's where I was telling it. It's already there and it's been used in navigation. The Mona Lisa project, an action in the Baltic Sea region aimed at improving the quality of the maritime transport. 1992, they thought about it. Mona Lisa complies fully with the strategy of the Baltic Sea region and will also play a part in supporting the European waterways and sea activities which is linked to navigation. The project which forms a part of 10T, which is known as the Project 21, if you type it on the internet, IMO 21 project, you will get a lot of information on that. The Mona Lisa project aims at improving quality of the maritime transport safety at sea, exchange of maritime data and facilitation of the environment of the shipping and implementation of the maritime relevant applications. Three member states, Denmark, Finland and Sweden, heading this. They are already into it. Their waterways are already using Mona Lisa project. They also have coastal waters, but they are already ahead of it. More information you want, more question you want to ask, these are the sites which are available to you. You can get as much as information you want. IMO, ILA, IHO sites are there independently. But most important part is that Norway, which chairs the IMO correspondent group, have a separate site, www.enav.no, gives you full detailed information of the navigation in pre-mentioned benefits, how to, when it is going to be completed, and it's been updated time to time. Sometime back I told you that I'm going to talk to you what's happening in the North Sea region, how this concept of the e-navigation has been used there for their waterways in a safety way, enhancing the navigational safety.
From above, the North Sea may seem to be clear and open. But for shipping, how open will the open waters of the North Sea remain in the future? The demands being placed upon the North Sea's marine areas are many. Already hosting some of the busiest shipping lanes in the world, traffic levels in the North Sea are growing. Larger bulk cargo and container ships operate side by side with fishing boats and leisure craft. And to avoid congestion on roads in the region, seaborne transport is now increasingly favoured. But this is also adding to the density of traffic. And there are other pressures. The North Sea already hosts many oil and gas installations, and there are plans to significantly expand the existing number of wind farms to meet demand for new sources of offshore energy. If we add the North Sea's rich diversity of natural habitats and the demands of wider marine spatial planning, navigation in the North Sea region faces a significant challenge. It must respond by working together with marine spatial planners to find solutions. Now, adopting a transnational approach involving 11 partners from across the region, a new EU-funded project, Axes, is taking a closer look at these challenges.
I think shipping industry is facing an enormous challenge in the coming decades on the North Sea. What used to be an open space is now confined waters. There's an enormous development of windmill parks. Not so much today, but when we look at the map of projected and planned windmill parks in the North Sea, we see large areas covered, and this will have great influence on shipping in the coming years. Shipping industry has to be made aware of this. They will have a choice. Either you fight this development or you go along with it. And going along with this development will probably need that you need to confine shipping into narrow channels. That in turn is new challenges. How do we support a mariner on the bridge navigating in such a, I would always say, street-like conditions on the North Sea? It's a great challenge that we see already in the beginning of the Axis project.
Listening closely to mariners and other users, Axis is using a geographic information system to assess maritime traffic trends and the issues that obstruct available safe access. The geographic information system, which may also be used as an Axis legacy tool by the relevant regional administrations for future marine spatial planning, has produced some interesting findings from its early analysis. These findings point to possible future reductions in space that is navigable in the North Sea. So improving awareness is critical.
After more than 10 years on the Esbjerg Harris route, it is my experience that during construction of windmill farms, it generates extra traffic and sometimes even disturbances and delays in the ports, acting as hubs for the construction works. If the amount of planned windmill farms becomes a reality, we need to focus on the challenge that it gives for us to navigate the North Sea in a safe and efficient way.
Axis aims to do more than raise awareness about future pressures on space. It will develop and demonstrate possible solutions in a regional testbed for e-navigation in the North Sea. It will use the International Maritime Organization's e-navigation framework, complement e-maritime, and build on EU regional projects. Targeting key routes in the busy southern area of the North Sea, the testbed will put the mariner at its center. It will focus on providing more reliable and timely information to improve both safety and efficiency in navigation. Improving accessibility to the region's congested ports will be essential.
As a researcher, but also with a background as a VTS manager, I would say that with the concept of maritime spatial planning, the notion of freedom of the seas will have to shift. And unfortunately, I'd say that the shipping industry is not really aware of what's happening. I think the Axis project will help develop e-navigation tools which might aid the navigator in maritime spatially planned areas in the future.
The outcomes of Axis aim to maximize the potential to expand and evolve e-navigation solutions. This calls for a collaborative approach.
Looking at the challenges for the North Sea, two issues are very important. First, the involvement of users, and secondly, collaboration between national administrations and competent authorities. Axis, as a project, is meeting these requirements by the establishment of groups for users, service providers and policymakers. And beside that, annual conferences are going to be organized for all stakeholders. And this kind of structure may even proceed after the project ends.
The work of Axis is underway. The challenges are becoming clear. With outreach, engagement and cooperation being central at every stage, its journey towards defining potential e-navigation solutions in the North Sea region will continue.
As a result of growing markets and increasing trade in our global economy, the need for transport is growing. The problems that follow from this are obvious. Shortage of capacity, accidents, and increasing emissions are just some of them. In order to create a competitive and resource-efficient transportation system and to fulfill the environmental goals of the EU for the year 2050, we have to reduce greenhouse emissions from the transport sector by 70%. Meanwhile, freight transport inside the EU is expected to grow by 80% during this period. One way of reaching the emissions goals is to move more than half the road-based traffic to other means of transport. Where can this extra capacity be catered for? The answer is at sea. An increasing volume of traffic will also increase the risks for human beings, the environment and the economy. With increasing traffic, the need for better information systems also grows, along with tools for improved safety at sea and environmental protection. In early 2010, Sweden and the Swedish Maritime Administration initiated a Motorways of the Sea project for broader benefits, Mona Lisa. The project will result in an improved flow of processed information in order to open up the possibility to introduce a new process, sea traffic management. Sea traffic management will be analogous to air traffic management, which is essential for air traffic as we know it. Today, route planning is either done individually on board with manually collected data from sources that are more or less updated, or more precisely and accurately with routes planned with the assistance of various routing services. Normally, the bridge team is the only persons who have an overall view of the route of an individual ship. Other vessels in the vicinity do not know the ship's intentions or decided route plans. With the introduction of a new service, Sea Traffic Coordination Centre, which will put the captain in the centre of the process, we will be able to provide new services that will increase safety, reduce costs, and improve the environment. The Coordination Centre will help captains to create tailor-made routes for each ship, considering its individual needs and the captain's requirements. The Coordination Centre can give a ship a complete route, or it can function as a complementary addition to an already existing route. Route planning is performed and updated dynamically with real-time data from necessary sources such as hydrographic surveys, maritime safety information, weather and ice conditions, port conditions and availability of pilots, MSP, Maritime Spatial Planning. The service will calculate the optimal route from the adequate data and will provide the captain with a unique and optimal route with the best track and optimal speed to arrive at the right time. In some traffic separation areas, the Coordination Centre service may also, if traffic allows, dynamically separate conflicting ships in order to save many miles, reducing costs and emissions. The same way as it is today during the winter season in the Baltic region, for example. All involved ships can exchange route information with other ships in the vicinity. This will highly increase the officer's situational awareness. The coordination centres will have the ship traffic and the routes automatically supervised, including automatic notification in the event of a deviation. The coordination centre will be notified about the deviation immediately and can take the necessary action. The system automatically provides the ships with the latest continuously updated information about their route. For instance, a change situation in the harbour, maritime safety information or gale warnings. With all routes in a common server, we can also predict congestions and conflict areas in the same way as air traffic control centres do today. It will also be possible to offer ships individual monitoring and assistance from the coordination centre in confined waters, through traffic separation areas or when altering course at waypoints. Ship owners can have their fleet monitored and all routes can be validated and quality assured. With continuously updated information of ships' movements, voyage plans and intentions, the number of unknown vessels will be reduced, thus better enabling our Coast Guard to find risk vessels. Not only the routes can be quality assured, validated and monitored, the certificates for the bridge officers can be too. When a new officer is taking over the con on the bridge, he checks in with his personal ID smart card. This gives the traffic coordination centres control of competence, qualifications and duty status during the entire voyage. The land-based data server consists of the latest valid certificates for the officer on watch. The duty status shows the worked hours during the present duty. Ensuring that personnel are thoroughly rested is an important factor in preventative safety work. There are legal issues to be addressed before sea traffic management can go into operation. These include UNCLOS, SOLAS and the STCW Convention. However, before the end of the project, the Mona Lisa project will clarify the problems and prepare a roadmap with feasible suggestions. Acting to prevent the problems that arise as trade and sea traffic grow is an international matter, and the work must be done in international cooperation for the sake of the environment, safety and the economy. Safety in particular is an important aspect. Where aviation has air traffic management and the railroad system has automatic train control, the shipping world does not yet have an analogous sea traffic management system. Within the EU, every year more than 500 accidents at sea are reported, and the number of unrecorded cases is likely to be considerable. In aviation, such figures are quite unimaginable. Mona Lisa contributes to increased safety. For the commander, Mona Lisa provides a constantly updated route, the best route choice, increased service, improved information and assistance from land, improved decision support in close situations, warnings about dense traffic. For the ship owner, Mona Lisa provides reduced costs, improved environmental performance, quality assured and validated route performance. For the sea traffic coordination centres, Mona Lisa provides survey and coordination with real-time data, early warnings about dense traffic areas, basic data for advice, information on the competence, qualifications and duty status. It is time to move maritime into the digital age of the 21st century by utilising the potential of information technology in order to improve the general view, coordination, efficiency, safety and environmental friendliness.